Good. I thought I'd go through the team that I've got. This is pretty much the team in its entirety. I don't use a lot of the under 23s. You can see there they are there. Some of them have got good potential, and the under 18s aren't great. So I'm going to go through the squad, and I might as well go by position. So I've got my keeper, Mats Morch. You can see he's a decent all-round keeper. He doesn't really excel at anything, but he's just got really good balanced stats. He's not particularly eccentric. But you can see there he's 24 years old. He's improving, and if you look at his current ability and his potential, he probably could get a lot better. I'm just going to stick with him. I don't see any reason. I haven't seen any goals that we've let in that he's made any blunders, so I'm going to keep him. And we do struggle with our backup keeper, Jordan Miles. He was ever present for us last season, played a lot of games. 29, you can see there. We had another keeper, Ashton, I think was his name. But he's a good backup. He played a lot last season. He does the job, but he's not really gonna set the world on fire. Our right back is pretty much the cause for concern. I've got Marvin McCoy, whose stats are very good. He was very good for us last season. He played a lot of games last season as well. 40. I didn't buy him, but it says there that, Ebbsfleet got him on a free from York, but whatever. This is the area that I need to strengthen. I bought Alex Pike in the summer. People were bidding for him. I got like a notification that people were bidding for him, and I went for it purely because he was coming from West Ham. I didn't really scout him that much, and then when he came through, I've got to say his ability isn't brilliant. So right back is definitely an area I need to strengthen, perhaps in January. Left back, I've got Jack Connors, who's absolutely brilliant. Played a lot of games for me last season. 31, that's surprising. I thought it'd be more. But he's a great player to have in your team. Not overly quick, but he's got good stamina. And as you know, for left backs, you need that stamina because they're going up and down the touchline. The boy can cross, which is always good. Works relatively hard. He can tackle. He's just a nice player to have. And, if you look at his star rating, it tells you all about it. And he's a youngster as well. He's 22. When he gets about 24, I need to find like another left back that I can tutor. And Jordan Jackson could fit that mould. He's only 17. I do play him. You'll see there last season. I bought another left back called Adam Mayle, who's sitting in my reserves. And Jordan Jackson's actually a regen from my youth system. So I have given him games, but since it was easy because we're as good as promoted anyway. But because of that, I gave him games. You can see he does have standout stats. Hopefully, I'm training on his speed. His pace is being worked on as part of the fullback, which I think is important. I need to start giving him games, but at the moment it's about consolidation in the division. Centre backs, Dave Winfield is our club captain. You can see he's not going to last for much longer, but he does have a great determination stat, which is why he's absolutely brilliant. And I've got Billy Holmes was already at the club, but I needed that pace in defence. I found that we had some really good centre back options. There was a chap called Clark, and there was another centre back as well who was about 35, and he had brilliant stats. but they were all really slow centre backs. And I found that when we chased games, we were just getting done because they'd play it over the top. Our centre backs were so slow that they couldn't run onto it. So I very quickly brought in Billy Holmes. You can see his heading, his marking, and his tackling stats very good. His positioning's very good, and he's quick. Very important that to have a bit of speed. So I play him in sort of the covering area because Winfield isn't particularly quick himself. So I like to have at least a pacey defender. And our other sort of centre back, and probably the best centre back in the team, is Ben Taylor. Not by stats, but by his rating of, he's 3 stars in current, and he's, he has, in theory, possibly the potential to be, 4.5 star. But I'm just rotating these because I want to make sure they all develop. Dave Winfield's not getting any younger. He's 29. And so I'm just rotating them a bit and giving them all a game because I don't want any of their development to be hindered. I do have another centre-back, this chap. I bought him, I think, on a free. Yeah. I don't think he's had a game yet. He's injured at the moment, 5 to 6 weeks. Really should start giving him games, but it's difficult to break into the team. He is there as cover, but in case we get like an injury crisis. And you can see really our defenders are definitely where we need to improve. If you took apart the team, you can see there the quality and the current ability in comparison to the rest of the team. It's all the defenders that are lacking. Shakir Lagarde is basically an upgrade on Sean Shields. Sean played a lot of games for us last season. He's got a decent dribbling stat and he's got good physical stats. With him, I found a lot that when he went to run with the ball, very often he'd lose it. And so this is why I bought Shakir Lagarde. He's a very similar type of player. You'll see with his stats there. But his dribbling stat of 13 really makes the difference. And that's why I signed him. I specifically looked for a player with decent dribbling stats. And that's what we've got there. So I'm happy with my right wing options. Recently I've been playing Shields, not to keep him happy. He hasn't come to me, but I've been playing Shields, I guess, for a bit of variation. And I've had to say, look, enough's enough. We need results. And Macclesfield came up and I just basically fielded my best 11. And we absolutely walloped them. So that was good. Left wing, Aidan Austin. Bought him last season. Great player. And shamefully, I didn't really play him to begin with. You'll see he only played 21 games last season. I actually played a chap called Williams, who's now our backup option. He's injured. Between 6 days and 3 weeks. I don't know how it can be that hazy. Surely you know if it's going to be 6 days or 3 weeks. Great crossing option. He's got all right pace. Okay dribbling. He got injured last season. And I started to use Aidan Austin. And I realised that he was so much better. So much more effective. So I swapped it over after that. In the centre of midfield, we've got a Richmond, or an embarrassment of riches, I guess you could call it. Got a lot of players available. If anything, I've got team money, so I'll try to go through them. Stuart Lewis was with us last season. He's 29 years old, and I just really love his stats because he's got that vision and that passing ability in the middle. He's also got that tackling, so he's really versatile, I guess, And he came to me a couple of games ago and just said, look, I need to be playing more, and I kind of agree with him. He's at that age that he needs to play, and I like him as a player. Cassian Thomas is more of like your playmaker. And he does have a really good potential there, and his current ability. I'm surprised that his current ability is as good as that because his stats don't really show him in a good light. But he's quick. and I need to give him a couple of games. You'll see he played his first game the other day, and it was against Macclesfield. We walloped them. So I'm gonna keep him in the team, give him a bit of a run because he deserves it. And I guess his physical abilities are why he's got such a good potential ability. Other players in the middle are Billy Clifford. He's quite outspoken, this guy. I don't know what his profile says his personality is. He had a go at me, unhappy with his try. This guy's trouble, I think, personally. Me, outspoken, volatile, yeah, yeah, I can vouch for that. He seems to have a problem with everything, you know. You give a team talk that you're a little bit harsh, and he comes out. He's not amazing, but I've bought him in the summer. As I said, Byron Davies, who was our standout player last season, got snapped up. We got a good amount of money for him, and I invested all that money in the training facilities, so that's all gone. But we do have good facilities now, and I think that's important. His stats are good. You know, you look at his vision, his passing, his technique. He's not got the tackling ability like Lewis has, but nevertheless, he is a good player, and he's a good player to have in the team. Current ability and potential. But I'm going to start not using him as much. You can see he's on the bench there. I didn't use him against Macclesfield, or if I did, it was to rest another player, and I'm going to stick with that. Billy Clifford, yeah, he came off the bench in 67 minutes, did all right, but the game was won, so it didn't really matter. So that's Billy Clifford. We'll have to see how that unfolds. Jack Powell played a lot for me last season. Again, great tackling, great stats. And like I said, we've got an embarrassment of riches, really, particularly for that ball-winning midfielder. And he's another one. You can see his stats there. He has great potential, and this is why I want to keep him interested. Doesn't enjoy big matches, but maybe leave him out of a local derby if we ever play Lincoln. So that's him. And this is a chap, David Nassieri, who's my option. I did have John Paul Kissick, and I've still got him, who I remember in FM14, I did a save as Luton, and he was there. But Nassieri is a bit of an upgrade, needs a lot of work, and I can see him in the future getting unhappy because he's just not getting the games. You know, 1 start, 3 substitute appearances, and I always feel like I'm almost changing the team around to accommodate him. He's a good option if you are playing the 4-2-3-1. I think, like I said, he will get annoyed with me. He will put in a transfer request at some point, so can't wait to see that unfold. That's John Paul Kissick. It says his best place is right winger. I was playing him as an attacking midfielder because he does the whole look for pass rather than attempting to score, and I like that in a playmaker. I like having a striker, and I like having someone who feeds him. And he was good for us last season. Played a lot of games because I did play the 4-2-3-1. I played one up front. He's not started. He's not played at all this season. There you go. And a lot of it is down to sort of the current potential that I'm trying to work on my team. But as a player, actually, I quite like him. I mean, look at his technique there. His vision and his passing. He was good to have as the attacking midfielder, like the sort of advanced playmaker. So if you are playing lower league, he might be a player that you think about. It says his best player is winger, but you know, I think play him in the centre behind the front man. Personally, that's what I did. Got me promoted. And then the other two in midfield are Sarpong and Kane Ferdinand. Sarpong I bought last season, and he was such a good buy. Look at his physical stats there. Like I said, we have got 3 really good defensive midfielders, and the reason, so we've got Sarpong, Ferdinand, like I said, we've got Powell as well, and you could say Lewis as well. You could say Stuart Lewis counts as that. So in theory, we've got like 4 players who could play in that defensive midfielder, and there's a very good reason for that, which I'll come on to in a second. Kane Ferdinand, bought him over the summer, literally based on his stats, thought, yeah, this looks good. And he is good. I've played him more than anyone. I paid quite a lot of money for him. Yeah, I mean, a lot of money. The 2K. Most of the players I picked up for free, but I saw him available. He was coming towards the end of his contract, and I basically just a little bit. I unsettled him. I stated my interest and all the rest of it. He didn't sign another contract, and I got in there and just basically said to him, "I want to buy you." I offered 2K, which is a pittance really. But if you look at my transfer history, most of the players I picked up on frees. But anyway, yeah, so that's Kane Ferdinand. And the reason why I've got all of those defensive midfielders is that we just got promoted, like I said, to a new division. I like playing the 4-4-2, but because we've just gone up, there are going to be teams that we play against that we're going to get absolutely dominated. And when that happens, I've got the counter-attack option here, which requires basically 2 ball-winning midfielders. So, you imagine Sarpong and Ferdinand or whatever. And Hazeldine with his pace and his finishing. I'll get onto Hazeldine in a minute, but you see there is pace and acceleration there. He's a great option to have up front that we just lump it forward and he chases it. I've got him as a poacher. He tends to score more. You could equally have like an advanced forward, but whatever. So that's the option there. But like I said, we're going with 4-4-2 at the moment. But this is the formation I played last season, and of course I had John Paul Kissick there. I played McLean a lot last season, but you can see he's getting on. He's 34. His pace is suffering now. But I've got options. Basically, I've got options here. So we'll go back to the 4-4-2 because that's the formation that murdered Macclesfield. Okay, winger-wise, I think I've done wingers. Shakir Lagarde, yeah, and Shields. And I said about Williams, and then, of course, Aidan Austin, who has been monumental. So up front, what are the options? I talked you through Kissick, obviously. We have Nassieri, I said, is going to get the hunt with me. Theo Bailey-Jones is a player that I bought last season, pretty much for cover. Before I got Shakir Lagarde, I bought him on a bit of a whim because he looked to be doing the business. I think he had good stats for Salford. I didn't really scout him, and it was a big mistake. And as a result, anyway, he will get the hunt with me. He will leave. I'm just going to have to deal with it when it comes up because I've got Shakir Lagarde, and when I haven't got him, I've got Shields. So up front, who have we got? We've got Oliver Bennett, who I bought. He's got a good name. I bought him pretty much by doing a basic search for players. And I just looked up pace, off the ball, finishing. It's just like bish, bash, bosh. And this guy came up. The stats around them aren't particularly good. He has a good potential, and I need to start giving him game time. I like him as a player. I like his stats. He's injured at the moment. But he's going to struggle to get games the whole time that I've got this chap in good form. He's brilliant. Scores goals. There you go. This season, played 11, scored 7. What more do you want? He's quick, so he's good when we play on the counter, like I said earlier. He could work on his finishing, which is what we're doing at the moment. So I think I'm giving him advanced forward training and I'm working on his speed. I don't want him to lose his pace. If he can get quicker, even better. You can see their finishing is being worked on. Great player to have. Absolutely great player to have, old Max Hazeldine. I bought him similar way that I did Oliver Bennett, and I don't regret it at all. I'm surprised, actually. He's got so much better so quickly. But anyway, that's Max Hazeldine. James Allaby. So last season I played the 4-2-3-1. Now I'm playing with 2 up front. It's what all the coaches were advising as pre-match prep. So I just thought, right, let's do it. Let's do a 4-4-2 and experiment with it. And it's worked out well. I mean, it absolutely murdered Macclesfield, and I'll take you on to that in a minute. I was supposed to record that game. I didn't, but anyway, I'll record a game in a minute. But James Allaby, I think he's like, for the time I've been at at the time I've been at Ebbsfleet, I spent the most money on him. 12k doesn't sound like a lot when you're selling players for 3.5 million, but nevertheless, great player. Bought him from Chester. You can see his stats there at Chester. He's got an average rating in 9 games of 7.46. 6 games, 6 goals, and 2 assists. Surprised he hasn't got more assists, but basically with him and Max Hazeldine up front, you can't complain. I refuse to believe we're going to get relegated this season. I refuse it. I'm not concerned about getting relegated because I've got Max Hazeldine and James Allaby. Look at their current ability with Aidan Austin as well, who's really upped his game, and Shakir Lagarde. I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that we're going to go down, and I'm confident we'll stay up this season. And we've got Oliver Bennett as a backup, and like I said, Aaron McLean. He did the job for me last season. He was a lot quicker last season. He's really lost his pace. He'll probably retire. But he's been a good servant to the club. And look, 23 goals, 15 games last season. And then, of course, I bought Hazeldine and Bennett. Average rating of 7.01. Great player to have. And he should enjoy his retirement. And that's really it. I don't think there's anyone that I haven't gone through. But you can see there, we've got a good team. I'll take you briefly through Macclesfield. I meant to record it and I didn't, which I'm a bit annoyed about. But basically, I went for the 4-4-2. I played all the old guard, apart from Allaby, that, like I said, 4-4-2. So I needed 2 up front. And I've got to say, we walloped them from the get-go. 12 minutes in, Max Hazeldine scored. I'll show you that goal. And from this moment here, I thought, right, we're in. 12 minutes in, they played ridiculously defensive. If you look at the formations. And to get that early goal really helps because, the longer the time goes on and nothing happens, you want to try and break them down. So that's what we did there. So once the first goal went in, I thought, right, now they've got to come out and play. And really, we just continued to play. Allaby then scored, quite soon after. And it was plain sailing. And it's for that reason that I think it's games like this that I think, do you know what, we're going to stay up. There's no problem there. The tactics, the 4-4-2 are good. They're going well. Once it was 3, and you can see how good Allaby's doing at getting that ball. He really does. Hazeldine, with his pace, just winning the ball there, running through. And was it the 4th goal? One of their goals, their defender had an absolute howler. I think it was the Hazeldine hat-trick. Powell pins it in. Connors, Allaby scores a goal just like Giroud. But the next goal, 4-0 up at half time. What more do you want? I didn't change anything. Later on, I just rested players. Marvin McCoy I took off, and that was purely because he'd just come back from injury. So the assistant suggested I only play him for 60 minutes. You can see I took him off after 67. I don't want him getting injured again because we don't have a lot of options there. Great all-round performance, but here you go. Here's the howler here. So Billy Clifford was on at this point. That is a howler. I don't know why your right back is messing about with it there. It's quite clear. Get rid. You're 4-0 down. You've got Max Hazeldine, who, like I said, is a great player. And there we go. We just picked him apart and we won. So that was good. And like I said, we were on an iffy run. So to get that win now takes us to 8th after 11 games, 17 points. Last season, how do I... There you go. Right. Last season, Torquay went down with 51, but it was basically 52. That's a base that we need. And with 11 games gone, which is somewhere in the region of 20% of the games gone, we're already well over a third of the way there. So once we get to the 50 points, let's just worry about getting there first. But I'm confident. I'm happy with the players I brought in. It has helped because I've got a whacking great big transfer budget, and that's massively helped by the fact that we sold Byron Davies last season. But as a club, our finances aren't great. Profit, where's our actual balance? Overall balance, we're in the red. And the reason why that is because we invested in the training and the youth facilities. Once that money came in, I was like, right, we're going to invest this in the team. There's no way I was going to let it go to waste. And so I made a board request to make sure that we work on the training and the youth facilities and that they were upgraded. It costed a lot of money. I don't think it will tell me here, but it was collectively, I think it was basically it spent everything that Byron Davies earned. And I think it's a good way to spend it. And so where are our facilities? You'll see here, impressive training facilities, average youth. The next thing will be to work on junior coaching and youth recruitment. But like I said, we haven't got any money, so I'll be very surprised if they will allow that. Wouldn't mind another coach as well, if the board allow it. There doesn't seem to be the option at the moment. Doesn't seem to be the option for an under-18 coach, and we are at capacity. But anyway, we can do that further down the line. There you go, increase youth level. That wasn't there before, so I'm going to try and increase. I'm hoping they do it because we improved our youth facilities. Thanks for your insight. That's annoying. I think I'm going to have to sit tight for a while, aren't I? Okay. So that concludes what we've done. Hopefully it's a good insight for you. I'm going to go on and play. I will show a live game. Like I said, I've meant to do Macclesfield and I didn't. I'm just very conscious. I don't want to upload every single game because it's just going to take so long. Whitehawk came up with us last season. See there, they got promoted. So I'm tempted to show you that one. Gateshead, I think, is supposed to be quite good. So yes, I will come back. I will film an actual game. But thanks if you've watched this all the way through. If you've got any suggestions, anything you want to see, do comment or message me and say what you want to see. I'm open to suggestions, but I think we stand a good chance of staying up. And and I'm tempted to record the White Hawk game. If there's any game in particular that you want to see, Lincoln will be a good one, because we are there. I think they're our rivals, if I remember right. Interesting that Oliver Bennett is a favoured personnel. Fierce rivals of Dartford. Oh no, I just completely made that up about Lincoln. I thought Lincoln were a rival. So it's Dartford, Dover, Margate and Gillingham. So Dover, we've got Dover at home on the 24th. So I will record that one, is what I'll do. That's handy. That's coming up. I take it I haven't played them already. When's the other game? It's down there. So I will record the Dover game. I've got to remember in that game not to play Lewis because he doesn't like big games. Oh, is he not? Oh, it's Powell, isn't it? Is it Powell, Jack Powell? Who's got great credentials. Look at him. Doesn't enjoy big matches. So I'll leave Powell out of the Dover game. But yeah, thanks for watching. If there's anything you want to see, any players you want to click on, any stats you want me to show, just leave a comment or whatever, and I will do my best to show you. Thanks.